You are now entering the Queen's Quarter. We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you, there's a queen in me. Every woman is a queen.
Welcome to our Queen's Quarters today. We are so glad that you were able to join us. As you know, today is our question and answer period, which I'm really excited because today we have guest panelists that came right on just to ask questions for us to answer and for us to discuss. We just welcome you so much. We're so glad to see you, and we're glad to have you come on as our panelists. If you have questions for the next go round, feel free to submit your questions so that we can be ready for the next time. But we're going to start off as normal with our introduction. My name is Queen Emma, and I represent the 60s Club.
Hello, everybody. I am Queen T, representing the 50 Club.
Hello, I'm Queen Ty, and I'm repping the 50s.
What's going on, QQ Royalty? I am Queen Tans, representing the 40s Club.
Hey, kings and queens. I'm Queen I, representing the early 30s.
You met all the queens on Queen's Quarters. Right now, we're going to have our tea time with Queen T.
Hello, everybody. Come on in. It is tea time with Queen T. And you know, it's all about the tea. So let me just give you guys know that we talk about teas with health benefits. But one thing I want to bring out to you today is teas that help with weight loss. You know, women, sometimes we struggle with our weight. So today we have green tea, mint tea, exotic matcha tea, which is a Japanese tea. We have kava tea, ginger tea, chamomile tea, and South American herbal tea. So go get yourself a cup of tea today. Let's see what's going on in Queen's Quarters while we lose weight. So Emma, what's going on today?
Well, today with pleasure to have our guest to come on, and we're going to jump.
The question is, and I know we have some kings on here too, so this applies to you all as well. How would you feel if your children brought home someone of a different race? Now, I'm not talking about you'll love them unconditionally, you'll support them. We know that. How would you actually feel?
Well, that's so weird because we did have an episode on this, on dating outside of your race. And the queens asked Queen T, do you care? And I said, yes, I care. I definitely believe in us staying with our own race. And I don't believe that's being racist because many other cultures, they do it too. However, I can't tell my son or my daughter who to fall in love with. But do I have a preference? Absolutely. Absolutely. But, you know, that's just my opinion. And I expressed it on another episode and you guys can chime in.
I think I would be fine with it because something in me always just felt like Christian would bring home another race anyway. So, yeah, I kind of pre-planned for that, but I would be fine. I would be fine with it. I would be fine with it. No, and I know she about to come in. Now she probably wouldn't.
In my younger days, in my heydays, I probably wouldn't have been fine with it. But now, as I'm growing older, I see that it's more than just color. You know, it's just knowing that your loved one will be with the right person that's going to look out for him or her. And for me, that's more important than the color. So as I grow up and mature, that's more important to me.
Well, if I could say, I would say, and I still say, it really wouldn't bother me one way or the other. If you love my child, You know, if you love my son, then, you know, because I only have sons. So if you love my son, then it wouldn't, you know, if you make him happy, and then I'm happy for him. I don't get into the middle of their relationships. I don't care. You could be purple, as far as I'm concerned. It don't bother me. If you like it, I love it. That's my philosophy. But I do have a question for Queen T, since this has come back up. You know, have you ever met
Wait, Queen, you know I don't like being put on the spot, but go ahead with it.
Well, this is not the first time I pulled you on the spot. It won't be
It's really not. That's the purpose.
So
but
anyway,
go forth.
So if have you ever met a person that you felt like this person just don't like me? Have you ever met a person like that? Because
I'm sure in life that I met people that didn't like me, but I never see anybody that way from the beginning. Like until you show me that you don't like me, I don't really. Yeah, I've seen it before.
So if your son or your daughter brought home a partner of a different race, you don't think that person would get the same vibe like his mother don't like me or her mother don't like me?
First of all, I don't treat people indifferent, and that I will never do. And just because you don't look exactly like me, don't mean you're not my kind. But my purpose is, do I want us to stick within our kind? Yes. But I want that person to be equally yoked. And what I mean is, it's about treating them with kindness. It's about respect. So if my children brought home someone that didn't look like me, was not my kind, but yet they're in love, I'm not going to treat that person indifferent. I may not like it, but I'm not going to treat them indifferent. I mean, that's not, and if you really think about it, that's not the typical Black home. When a typical Black home, when someone came into the family, everybody treated them with respect. That's just how we are as a people. Well, I know that's how my family always was. We received everybody. We don't treat people indifferent, but it is a lot of cultures out here. Like I said on one of our earlier episodes, Indians will marry the Indians. They stay within their cultures. They will talk about the fact that they don't go outside their race. It's just a cultural thing.
We have somebody that would like to have a comment. Come on in.
Hello.
Bye.
Oh.
I see Queen Shayna. I see King Zeke.
Okay, King Zeke, you start since I see you. Go on.
Okay, so to the question that was asked about opposite races dating, I have a son, so I think that makes it a little different for men, and being a boy, I think that does play a difference. I'm not gonna lie, but I do feel, first of all, I'm very pro Black, but I do feel like there's only one race. That's the human race. We all humans. God taught us to love each and every one of us. So I wouldn't, I would still try my hardest to love that person until they gave me a reason to not. That's like anybody else, even Black people. I want to love you until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say I'm not against it, but I think it is different for males versus females, fathers versus sons, father versus daughter, mother versus son. How everybody's going to feel differently about it based on your child, because a lot of women wouldn't want their Black daughter come home with a white guy, let's be honest, but you might accept that from your Black son to come home with a white girl, so it depends. And I guess it also depends on how engaged they are with us, our community, the Black heritage. If you put raisins in your potato salad, that ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? That just ain't gonna work. You ain't bringing that for Thanksgiving. So it depends how in tune you are with us. So that's all I want to say. But I think it's chopped up very fine versus boy, girl, son, father, mother, and other.
Well, we also had a comment from Queen Shayna as well. She wanted to respond from what I could see. And I think Queen Salima, possibly.
You know what? I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry, but we're going to come back to this question. We have one of our panelists has got to go. So we're going to have our panelists submit his question, and then we'll come back to this. How about that?
Okay.
How about we do it like that? Let's do it like that. King Tyshawn, what is your question?
How y'all doing, Queens?
Hello.
Wow.
My question is, did y'all feel as though in the past 2 years did y'all accomplish anything before the Queen's Quarters? Did y'all accomplish something real good in your life in the past 2 years before the Queen's Quarters?
2 years?
Can I
I
go
have.
ahead?
I'm gonna start with that. Yes. I look at accomplishing something is completing it. Once
Yes.
I can complete a task that I have on hand, that's been a big accomplishment for me. Like when I purchased my home, my first home. Going everyone knows that's a lot of paperwork and a lot of, and it can discourage you. It can truly discourage you because they kind of like ask you for the same things over and over again.
20 times.
Yeah, and you have to have it every time they ask, no matter what they ask. That was a big accomplishment for me, and I looked at that as okay. If I can complete that, all you have to have is the mind frame, the mindset to continue doing it, and don't get discouraged while you're in the middle of doing it. It helps out a lot. It'll take you a long way. So yes, I have.
On my end, I have as well. I have accomplished some goals and some personal things in my life, but also just need keeping a sane mind because this last 2 years, this pandemic was really rough. So me being alive, well, and healthy, and also keeping a sane mind was accomplished to me. Accomplishment for me.
I have to agree. I accomplished in this past time. I too bought a house. You know, I bought my first house recently, and I bought my house in the middle of the pandemic. And like Thais, and then I was displaced for like 6 weeks, where I was going from pillar to post. So on top of the stress of buying the house, on top of the stress of being displaced, and then y'all know I got Coco. So even though when you're displaced, everybody don't want you and your dog, even if you can spend the night. So then you incur expenses of putting her in the doggy daycare, you know, so you incur that expense. And then the stressors of buying a house, they want to know what you're doing with every dime of your money, you know. And I couldn't say like, yeah, well, you know, I got to pay $40 a night, but Coco to spend that all about pause, you know. That's not an acceptable answer. It was just a lot. It was very stressful. But the night that I got my keys, before my furniture came, I went into Walmart and bought me a blow-up bed because I was determined that I was going to stay in my own house based on all that stress that I went through in order to purchase this. But I'm very pleased with it.
I think that I have accomplished a lot within 2 years. First of all, spiritually. With my position now, my hours are different. My days off is different, so I don't get to go into the church anymore like I used to, or not at all. And then with COVID happening, I haven't been able to go into the church. So this time has allowed me to see how strong I become spiritually, that my spirituality didn't just happen because I was in the church, or it was actually real, because at home I'm still able to have worship. I'm still able to have time alone with God. I'm still able to grow and find things that I can listen to spiritually or be a part of and still grow. So my position spiritually didn't change because I'm not in the house of the Lord. So I understand now who I am in God a lot more. And then my faith has grown because during this time, during COVID, I have worked the whole season. And so I've learned to rely on God so heavily. It's kind of like, I feel like, I'm not saying nothing can't shake me, but I feel like I'm stronger in my space. And whenever something come my way, I kind of got an idea. Like I made a decision who I'm going to serve, and that's just it. And then the other thing is, during this time, I have completed a book. I'm an author of a book with 8 other authors. So at this time, I've actually been able to complete a book, and that's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time and never finished it, started it, never finished it. I finally completed it. and then also being a part of Queen's Quarters. So I have all these different things going on, and I really don't know where they're going to take me, and God just keep piling on more and more and more. And I'm like, God, not even that I'm older, but where's the time to do all this stuff? But I just have faith now to know that God is in control. So I think I have grown spiritually, and I have done some things and accomplished some things within the last 2 years.
Awesome. I see Queen Salima has her
Congratulations
hand
on
up.
the book, by the way.
Thank you.
I see Queen Salima has her hand up. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, sure. In the last 2 years, I've definitely, accomplished a lot as far as my spiritual. Also staying healthy through this whole time. Thank God. To God be glory. And I also started my own hair care line in the process.
Awesome.
And I started it, and then I didn't realize that it was something that I wrote down 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I was going through my paperwork, because I'm one of those used to be a paper hoarder. So I used to always keep everything, even old bills from like years and stuff like that. So I was going through my things. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going through my things, and I had just started the hair care line, and it was a 5-year plan that me and my family had. And I was reading my part, and on my part it said to start a woman's hair care line. And so I was like, wow, and it just gave me a peace of mind, because I was starting it on a whim, but it gave me a peace of mind to know that, yeah, this is actually going to go somewhere, because it's supposed to happen. This is supposed to happen, because I wrote this down 7 years ago. And so God had to show me, like, no, this isn't just something that I just dropped in you. This was dropped in you 7 years ago.
Wow.
So with that being said, I'm expanding, and, my relationship with my kids have gotten better. I used to be one of those moms, and now I'm a little bit more calm. I deal with them each differently, because they're all different. They're not the same, and so watching my oldest son relationship grow with God. He's 20, he's out on his own, he's moved out, hearing him talk about how he had to speak to the Holy Spirit to get decisions, like just a lot of different things have happened in the last 2 years that I can say that I'm grateful for the pandemic, and I'm not grateful for the pandemic at the same time.
Right.
Because in this time,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, in this time, I've grown a lot, and like T was saying, outside of the church. So I've grown a lot. My spirit, I didn't have to depend on the every Sunday anymore. So, yeah.
Well, Queen Salima, let me just ask you a question. If someone wants to see what you do and look at your hair care line, do you have a website or something that they can go to?
Right now, actually, Queen Siobhan is working on my website. So right now, for now, it's I just have Instagram. So
Give us.
Instagram is Ari's Hair Care System. That's my Instagram.
That's
awesome. That's
like, can you give us the spelling?
It is ARIHAIRESYSTEM.
Girl, spell that again, please.
I'm sorry. So it's ARIHAIRESYSTEM. I'll write it in the chat as well.
Awesome.
Also, I have a beard men's line that's extended from there, which
awesome.
we have a beard oil for the men right now.
Awesome.
And Queen Siobhan voted for us in the chat.
Oh yes, thank you, Cuddy.
Love it.
We have one last guest who hasn't had a chance to present her question. So we're going to have Queen Siobhan come up and present her question.
Yay!
Last but not least.
Hi guys again. So my question is, you kind of touched on it, Queen T. Being a mom with kids, 4 to 5 businesses, married, and everything else that I do in ministry. Is there such thing as balance for this? Because I need to know.
Well, you know what? I'm going to let Queen Tans take that because she's a woman right now with young children. She understands that juggling. See, I've done it already. My children are of age. I got 21s. And yeah, I got a comment, but I think she's in the midst right now. So she kind of have a more of a general idea.
Well, Queen Siobhan, that's a really loaded question because it's a lot of balancing. It's a lot of balancing. All I can kind of say, you know, we as strong Black women and strong Black queens that we are, we kind of, it's embedded in us and we learn from our ancestors, and it's just through our bloodline just to keep it moving, roll up our sleeves and just head out and do what we got to do. We don't think about it. We don't bat an eye. We just go. And that can be a pro and a con. It could be a plus and a minus, a positive and a negative, because you could wear yourself thin if you're not careful, right? You know, so like the advice we gave to Queen Salima earlier, seriously, like we really have to be patient enough to know when our body is saying, hello, you know, listen to me, relax a little bit, you know, take care of you. Because once again, like Queen Deanna, one of our other Queen Deanna said, you can't literally do everything for everybody else and try to juggle motherhood, juggle sisterhood, juggle work and you know, prophetess and minister and you know, whatever your title is at work, and and friend. It's so many hats that we as Black queens wear. That is very important that we take time out to seriously breathe and woosah, so we don't lose it.
Can I say something with that too? Like it's like we have all these muscles in our body, right? We have muscles, we have leg muscles, we have arm muscles, we got back muscles all through our body, right? Girl, let's muscle through it. You know, you see them things right there? You know, make a muscle. Look at that muscle. Look at that strong muscle. You feel me? Feel it, you know? Feel that thing. You know, that's your muscle. That's your muscle. You strong. You beautiful. You a queen. You built for this. You could do this. You strong.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
Let your heart not grow weary and well doing, sis. Keep it moving. Keep it pushing. Don't give up.
Yeah, you can do it. You got this. But
yes, you a winner. Yes.
You know what?
Muscle.
What came to me, I think it was from the Bible. I think it was Moses, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not quite sure. But someone in the Bible, he was trying to do everything by himself.
Moses.
And so Moses, okay, God, I was right. Bible study. So, God said, use these people around you. Why are you trying to do it by yourself? So look for your support system. Look for those that can help you out. And as I was saying to you earlier, I have Queen Deanna, who's on the screen right now. She does babysitting. Maybe we can get her to come to your house and babysit your children and give you and hubby a night out. Okay. But don't look for your support system. Who are the people around you that you can use for different things? Don't be afraid to ask, like, hey, can you run this errand for me? Can you do this? You know, look at the support system around you. Look.
Now you can't be doing that. You know, people be wanting gas money and stuff. You can't be doing that.
But
No, but you know, that's what the purpose of a support system. I do a lot of things for people from time to time. I don't, you know, it depends on who you got around you. And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, it depends. Some people do things for me and I'd be like, whoo, thank you, because I didn't have to do it. And it could be something that don't require you actually going about. It could be like, can you look this information up? So,
Yeah.
you know, do you have time? So yeah, you look at your support system, see what you have around you.
When I say I feel like God was just like dropped a boulder, like a ship was just said, God said, here.
Wow, it came that fast.
Right. It was just like, build. And I'm just like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I know you heard of that. God will never give you anything that you can't handle or cannot bear.
Yeah.
But all at the same time, if you feel like you need a moment,
Yeah.
create that place for you to go.
Yeah.
Stop for a second, whether it's in a garage or whether it's in a closet, or create a safe place for you to go where you can just move aside for a minute or 5 minutes or something just to regroup.
A little more.
I try it in the bathroom and they still find me.
No, a little more than that. I seen this commercial where she be like, honey, take the kids or whatever. You got the kids. Do not disturb me unless the house is on fire.
Right.
So you gotta do it.
And Queen C brought up a good point, you know, because you got a partner there. You have somebody there that can take that load. So lean on him, because you guys are partners. Lean on him and let baby, I need a moment. I need a breather. Can you take the kids, like Queen C said, and let me just do me, or let them stay in the house and you go to Barnes and Nobles and have yourself a coffee and a study.
Hello, I'll meet you there, sister.
Right. Absolutely.
Or if you need a whole night just a massage or just a debrief, I think you should take it. Like I love to do maybe, you know, go to a spot where I can just get a massage where it can be just about me sometimes. And I think that's probably what you need too.
And don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty.
That's it, Queen Tan. Let me tell y'all the trick my kids used to play on me, and I just found out when they got older. So they knew that I was super mom. Mom wants everything done a certain way. So if they had a school project, they told me this, y'all. If they had a school project or whatever, they would act like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, it's too hard. And then mom would come up, give me that. Let me do it. And see, as mothers, sometimes we want to do things and we want to make sure that it's perfect and we want to make sure everything is in order. And we got sometimes, even if we feel like they're not going to do it the way we want them to do it, we got to give over that power stick sometime. And like Queen Tan said, don't feel guilty about it and do what you got to do. But now I know better. If I had to do it again, I'd do better.
Yeah. As a former educator, though, I want you to know that the teacher knew that you did their homework, because
she probably did, because it was too good.
When the adult, so the teacher knew.
So
don't think you.
It probably was way above their age grade. You did this.
Deanna, you said you wanted to add something.
Yeah. Hi. So as Queen T threw me out there, yes, I have a babysitting services called Little Shepherd Nanny and Tutoring Services. And what I do is
your friends.
Just to give you a little information, just a quick tip. I give out, follow my page, I give out quick tips or dealing with your children, different ways to self-care. I'm big on whole self-care for mommies and even for children as well. So I give out little quick tips on that page as well as offer my services to you. But I want to encourage you, sis, because I just wanted to, just as Queen said, Moses had an Aaron in America, right? He had to hold his arm up. So just as Queen Tan said, You have someone there to hold you up. He is the head of the household. He is your high priest in your home. He is supposed to be there to support you. Not saying he don't, but use your tools. Just like the woman who had a little bit of oil in her house. The prophet said, "What do you have in your house?" Right? And she said, "I just have a little bit of oil." Right? So use that little bit of oil that you have in your house, which is
Oh God.
that you got. Okay, sis?
She's
You need
in my ear.
I'm available. Hit me up, all right? That's all I wanted to say.
I definitely will. And you just spoke on one of our Bible studies that we did.
That's why I said, come on, God.
So definitely will.
Confirmation.
Sis need a full break. You see, look, stuck to the hip.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have another question that came in.
That was Queen Tika. She had to leave, but she left that question. What are I guess what are you all doing with this? Basically, what is your plans with this platform? And are you equipped with the resources if you encounter an issue that you're not well versed in? That was from Queen Tika. That's Queen Lady B's guest.
Okay.
So who wants to take that first?
You can take
Well, I would say part of this platform is we're not coming on as psychiatrists, we're not coming on as professionals, we're coming on as just women and as you can see, women of color. We're coming on from experiences, standpoints. We're not coming on that we're right and you're wrong. We're just coming on to just give our personal experiences and not as professionals. Like they say, from the mouth of babes. Sometimes we might not be we might not be like well versed in something, but that don't mean we haven't had an experience in it. So that's the position that we come from.
Yeah, I was going to tag team off that, Queen T. That's correct. I definitely would say it's our testimonies. We're not, we're speaking from our experiences, only our experiences. That's our disclaimer. That's what we say. This is our experiences and our experiences alone. And if someone can benefit from our experiences, then we have definitely accomplished what we set out to do.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have had some shows where we've had substance abuse and physical abuse and the whole nine, but we have also sent out or let people know that if you have an issue, that these are the programs and these are the numbers that you can contact if you have an issue that we definitely, and we never claim to be experts in that field. But if you have an issue, that you are to contact those numbers for other help.
And Queen Ty.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to say, and Queen Ty, just to piggyback off of what you said, for those particular episodes, we do bring on someone that is experienced, who have actually had the experience themselves and went through even the programs that we announce on this show. So we know sometimes it's not coming from us, but it's coming from someone else who have experienced those those topics in which we're discussing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Queen C. So even if we don't have the professional experience, we have people who do have the professional experience. We have the resources.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree with all you ladies. I think that what we're trying to do through this platform is to let you know that Jesus saves to the utmost. I think that personally, I think that is the main thing that we advocate, that we are not perfect, and that if he did it for us, he can do it for you. That Jesus saves to the utmost, and that there's no problem too big for God, and you're not alone going through your issues, because whatever it is that you've gone through, if you didn't go through them personally, we know somebody. As far as equipped with resources, if we don't exactly have the resource, somebody knows where to search for the resource. Right. So that's how we handle, resources and things of that nature. Each of us have our own individual platforms that we use where we're connected to people, places, and things, situations, agencies that we can reach out and let those agencies know that this person needs help, or reach out and let you know that this is a good agency, that you can use to help through this process. And like you said, we had an awesome testimonial from a young lady who has gone through an addiction issue, who was so strong. I'm telling you, she was so strong. It was just difficult to not feed into her testimony. It was awesome. And from that, we learned that, it's a strong process. So if we don't know the exact thing to do ourselves, we do know how to send you to someplace else. We offer phone numbers, agencies that can help you out.
Someone Siobhan, did Siobhan have a question? I mean,
she had a comment, yes.
Yeah, I just had a simple comment. I think we were talking about the racial dating.
Yes.
Early on. Yes.
Yes. So my baby sister, who is now 19, and just like I think it was Queen Tans who said that she knew her son was gonna be in an interracial relationship. Same thing with my sister. And so she's in an interracial relationship. And one thing I found that was very interesting was that I kind of had to give him the pep talk of, she's Black, you're white. So this is what you're going to expect. This is what's going to happen. People are going to look at you like you have 7,000 heads. When you go to certain doctors, you got to look out for this stuff, because certain doctors will target her to not operate on, but like practice on, if you get what I'm saying. And so we was just having that conversation. And I think with interracial relationships, that hard conversation has to be had, especially when you're dealing with African Americans, because we are very wealthy naturally, to the point where doctors, false practice on us, you have cops that want to kill us, and all types of craziness that we go through as an African American or African in this country, whatever. And so the conversation of, this is what you need to look out for. If you're really planning on marrying my sister, I have to give you this breakdown, because this is the sad reality we are in. So,
Yeah, it definitely comes with some difficulties.
So can I ask you, have they encountered something dealing with a racial profile with them being a couple in this age? Yeah.
She hasn't told me anything yet, so I'm thanking God that she hasn't really encountered it just yet. I pray she never encounters it, but I had to prepare him, because I'm like, listen, I know you love my sister, you love your chocolate, I get it. You're a chocolate man, you like chocolate, I get it, and it's a beautiful thing. But I told him some people are not going to think it as beautiful. Some people are going to think it as offensive. So this is what you need to look out for. This is what you need to be ready for. And and he comes to me and asks me all types of questions. And I tell him, listen, if you have any questions pertaining to African American and history and things like that, don't be afraid to ask me, because I'm an open door, because I want you to be prepared, because you got my sister.
That's good.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. I think.
So I'm gonna chime in because I've dated outside of my race. My children's father is Cuban, right? So, I mean, we've experienced people stare and stuff like that, but you have to be confident in your relationship, so where you don't allow people to make you second guess who you're in love with, or the fact that your cultures may be different, because you both learn each other's culture. You know what I'm saying? And so I know how to cook a lot of Spanish food from being with my kid's father.
That's wonderful.
He loves a lot of soul food from being with me. My son did date outside of his race with my oldest one, and he dated a white girl. And unfortunately, he did go through a situation where, because he was a football player, the girl mom was abusive to her. And so my son will always like try to help her or like come to her rescue and stuff, you know, in the middle of the night when things were happening in her home. And this one specific time, the mom was like threatening my son, and I had to step in. I told him to leave her alone, and he did. He listened to me and everything, but I had to let him know, just because that one person did that to you does not mean that entire race is that way. And that's what I want to really emphasize on, is because, you know I'm Black, but just because one person treat me a certain way doesn't mean that whole entire race is that.
Exactly.
No, because I've had a boss that was white, and I mean, every time they would try to get rid of me, he will always, matter of fact, when he found out that they were going to get rid of me because my credit was bad on the other side that I was working at, he said, hey, run her from my side and I'll keep her. And every time it came time to, because I was him, and every time it came time to renew my contract, he would renew my contract until the pandemic happened and they had to let some people go, and he was sad about it, and he was a white guy, so with race, I don't raise my kids up to think about a color of a person. I raise my kids up to look on the inside of a person, because a person like me could be nasty as heck, nasty, mean, vindictive, all of that. And then you'll get someone who's the opposite race that's beautiful on the inside, have a good personality, have, all different types of attributes that you can't find in your own race. And I'm not saying that because I've dated inside my race and I've dated outside of my race. So, that's just my take on it. And, I'm not gonna lie, I have a preference, but whatever God brings to me, whether if it's a Black or white or a Spanish guy, as long as they love me the way that I'm supposed to be loved, because like someone said before, we are a human race. We're not really supposed to be, looking at it as a skin tone or a skin color. We have differences. Yes, we all have different types of culture and stuff like that, but we also have the same insides at the end of the day.
That's true.
Well, can I just add to that as well? Now, when you say, this race thing is a man's thing for division, like, oh, you're Black, you're white, you're this and you're that. And we do understand that just because somebody doesn't exactly look like us, that don't mean they're not part of us. And what do I mean by that? Is like we have so much intertwined with each other that you see it now when people are tracking their history. They have like all these different people in their family and they don't look alike. Yeah. So we're not saying we judge somebody from the outside or they have to look like us, but I need you to be of my kind. If you guys understand that. And then at the same time, this is also a preference. So it's okay if you prefer this, you prefer vanilla and you prefer chocolate. It's just a preference. Yeah. And I know what I prefer. And like you said, Salima, and Queen Salima, I completely agree. I don't want somebody just because they look like me, but treat me like a dog. That's not what I want, right. So who's to say just because he doesn't look like me that we're not the same? Because like I said, we done mixed and mingled so much. We just found something very interesting about my daughter, that she's actually, her grandfather is an Indian. And we didn't know that. So you just never know the mixing that has gone on.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you, Salima, did you find it difficult, dating outside your race, or how did you handle it?
I didn't find it difficult. I just really was attracted to how the person treated me.
Okay.
So because like I said, I've dated as well. And the ones that I dated inside of my race, honestly, to be frankly, treated me like that, in the beginning. You know what I mean? One of the guys that I dated was beating on me, and I was only 15. So, of course I got out of that situation. I'm not that. We're going to go toe to toe. I'm fighting you right back. But, when I dated my other kids, when I dated my kids' fathers, it wasn't like, it was just, I just wanted to be with them. I just wanted to date them. It wasn't never like, oh, well, he's Dominican or he's Cuban or whatever, so I want to date them. Or, because then people always quote, well, you're dark, so of course you want to date lighter than kids to be pretty. Kids are pretty at whatever mix they all black, whatever, because I used to,
I'm sorry, Queen Salima, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up.
Stop it, please.
Hold on. Sorry, we had.
So it was the you dated a Spanish person because you want mixed babies, because you want pretty babies with pretty hair. My daughter hair nappy. Like, I mean, it may look silky, but it takes me some time so it was never I wanted to someone personality. It was always I just like that. That's just what it was.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're fading out.
Froze
so
up
we're going to move the question to someone else.
Okay.
We can't.
Yeah, you're freezing up a whole lot.
Yeah, you're freezing.
Okay, am I freezing still?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're frozen.
Still freezing?
Yeah, you're frozen.
It's thundering. It's raining.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
it's definitely storming over here too.
Yeah. You definitely keep freezing. So
I'm still freezing.
Yeah.
We have
but we have a comment from Queen Diana. So we're going to let Queen Deanna get her comments in.
I just want to my sister out just a little bit because I feel what she was saying. A lot of times people think just because they're dating outside of their race, as she was touching upon, that the children here was going to be a certain way or they're going to look a certain way. That's not always the case. I'm United Nations. The reason why I say that is because whoever God brings my way is who God brings my way, but I do find myself attracted to the opposite race. So I can identify and I follow actually really great people who have interracial marriages, and a lot of times their kids don't look always quote unquote beautiful with beautiful hair, beautiful skin, but it's not the point of the beauty. When you're marrying someone and when you're in a relationship with someone, it's always about that love and that connection and that relationship and the children, the love that you have for your children. So I just wanted to help my out because she started freezing. She was basically saying what I was saying, but I just wanted to chime in and help out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. So you said you find yourself attracted to people outside of your race. So do that mean you don't find people in your race attractive, or you just prefer that?
No, again, this is why I said I'm United Nations. See, because I like all people, but a lot of times I have my preference. Just like you have your preference. Some people like ties, some people like gain. I have my preference, and I notice what I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to a certain look, and it's always exotic. So I realized that because a lot of times when I find someone or meet someone, even if they're really, really dark, I've dated and actually talked to a really, really dark Indian, and I didn't know he was Indian. I thought he was Black, but go find out he was Indian. So race and color don't really matter to me. I guess it's whoever I'm attracted to, I guess, in the moment. Not that I'm out there like that, because I'm saving myself for marriage. But I'm just saying, I just wanted to clarify that a little bit,
And Queen Deanna, I would just like to add and piggyback on a little bit of what Queen Siobhan said. If you were to have a relationship with that guy, it does not mean that that family would accept you. Now, we would accept him as Black people, but that doesn't mean, because a lot of them believe in arranged marriages, or even if they're not that old fashioned anymore and they're Americanized, they still don't believe in marrying outside of their race. And I know quite a few personally. And I'm not saying that it's all, but I'm just saying that's their viewpoint.
I have a girlfriend and she's Muslim, and she'll date other people outside of her race as long as they are Muslim. But she wouldn't necessarily date a Christian guy, even if he's Black. But she'll date like an Indian guy if he's Muslim.
Oh, wow.
Because I think that she's in one of these places where they mate you. You know, if you're compatible. So that's an option too. I mean, that's a scenario.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
But I'll tell you one thing, this whole conversation has opened my eyes up a lot. I mean, even though I'm more open now than I was prior to dating outside my race, and I'm still open to it. But not to say that I wouldn't want black love, because I do still rather have black love, but I am open to other things at this point.
So I know we touched on a race topic, and y'all already know how me and Queen T feel about that. So black love is where it's at. But would y'all date outside of your religion, not just Muslim, anything else? I know Queen Tans might, because you know she's gonna pray him through. But anybody else? Anybody else? Even our guest panelists.
Divine. Yeah,
Queen Tans is open.
Listen,
Even
we don't do evangelist dating over here. No evangelism dating.
But wait, my question is, what if, even if, okay, let's say you want your mate to be black, but what if God said your mate wasn't black? Would you still take the mate, even if God said, well, you know what, I know you want black love, but your mate isn't black? Would you do it?
Yes.
Well, if God said it, then I'm not against it. But I know that the God I serve, He hears my prayers. Get me a black king.
Yes.
He gives you
yes,
the
Queen, yes. Yes, Queen.
And that's a good question. Now, would your ears be so closed but to what you want versus to what you hearing God tell you?
No. If God said it, I'm not going to be against it, period. And one of my prayers is, God, make sure this is in your will. So I understand what y'all saying, because I'm so pro-black, pro-king, black king. But no, based on everything that I pray about, I know for sure my king is going to be black. But just like you asked a fair question, if he does say a black king is not for me, then okay, then I just have to go with a different king. Because
I'm gonna say this, Queen Salima, he would have to give me several confirmations.
Oh, listen, I hear you on that one now. Shoot,
several. I'm like, Lord, am I not hearing you? I need another one.
Yeah. What if he give you letting you know one time, and he's not giving you another confirmation?
No, because we have a relationship and we can talk, and I can say, God, that's not exactly what I prayed for. You told me to make the plan and make it clear, make it plain. So I made it plain. Why are we not on the same page? Okay, so I need a little more confirmation. We have a relationship. He'll tell me.
God knows his daughters, so he's gonna be like, okay, Queen T need a lot of my confirmation, so I'm gonna give it to him.
Okay. And about the religion part, I've tried that, and I can't say it doesn't work for everyone, but for me, I'd rather be evenly yoked. I'd rather have my husband, the head of my household, leading me the way I'm Christian. I just rather have it, and I'm not going to say I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. I'm a believer in Christ. So I'd rather have my husband lead me in the same direction.
I have a question real quick. I know that we're talking about religions right now.
Can I ask that real quick? I was just having this conversation with one of my coworkers, and we were talking about how important it is to have someone that you're equally yoked with, and it just makes life so much more easier. So I would definitely want someone who has the same belief system, and not saying that we have to agree 100%, but have the same belief in the same God.
Would y'all allow y'all spouse or partner to go to a different church, or do y'all have to be under the same church house?
It could be different churches. I don't mind that. Just as long as we serve the same Jesus. That's all I care. That's all I care.
Yeah.
You believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in Jesus Christ. You want to go to your church. But you're not forcing me to go to your church if I want to stay in my church. So be it. Just as long as we believe in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I truly agree too.
However, I've seen there's a couple that's been together like 54 years. I want to say 54 years, an older couple. The Mama Lou is Christian and Papa Lou is Muslim. So, I mean, it works for some people, but just not for me.
Wow.
It's not for me.
That's interesting. Because I want to know how they make that work, though.
I still wonder too. 54 years in? Ain't nobody argued?
I have a friend like that. I know someone like that, and her thing to me was he believes in a higher power. She was Christian and he was Muslim, and her justification is that number one, he was the father of two of her children, but she only had two. But he was the father of her two children, and he believed in a higher power. He believed in God. He just didn't believe in Jesus. So that's how she was able to explain that, because that was my question. How do you worship together, and you how do you worship together and you have a different belief system? And she said, no, we both believe in God. He just doesn't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
You know what? I go ahead, Queen.
On my end, I understand what you guys were saying about different churches and stuff, but on my end, if I have a spouse, I wouldn't want him to be at any other church, because I don't think we would be basically being like one, like as one. I know that, we both believe in Jesus and stuff, but I believe that we literally have to be in the same church. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because what if your covering is different from his? Like, what if you're being taught something that he really shouldn't be taught, under that leadership? So, and then you come home with that and you're arguing about what your leader said, what that leader said, what this leader said. And it's like, so I feel like you should both go to the same church.
This is the reason why I believe that it's okay to go to different churches, because when you get to that point of what the leader says, you have to throw it out the window. And so whatever the husband say now becomes lordship in that house. So it's more so whatever the husband says. So if we're at a church, if we're at two different churches and I don't agree with what your leader is teaching, I think that needs to be addressed in the dating phase. Because if you're going to have an issue with that, you want to see that in the dating phase before you get married.
Wow.
That's something that should be known. Like, if you, like, I knew from jump that there were certain things that may have caused issues when I moved out here to my husband's church, but I was okay with the issues. I know that I can deal with the issues. And so I think that's something that should have been addressed at the dating phase, rather than me marrying you and now we're in a big catechism because it's your pastor against my pastor. So yeah.
Well, I definitely just want to say I appreciate you all coming on and spending a little time in Queen's Quarters and sharing with us.
Yes.
and thank you for your input. And that's just from me to you guys. Thank you.
Yes. And as well, we all Queens do thank you guys for your time, and we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you being Queen Quarters fans and listening to us as well. So thank you from me to you.
Yeah. And we got to do this again real soon.
Definitely.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
All right, QQ Royalty. We are going to wrap up our live questions with our QQ Royalty episode. We really, from all of the queens, appreciate your dedication. We appreciate your loyalty, and all of you that had the live questions and hung in here with us. We appreciate you spending that time, and those that had to run out, we appreciate you as well. So we are definitely going to do this live questions again. Once again, QQ Royalty, you have been a part of the Queen's Quarters experience, where there is a king and a queen in you.
We are powerful, strong, and rulers in our own right. There's a queen in you. There's a queen in me.